Bad passwords are one of the easiest ways to compromise a system. For somebody who has a very common 8-character password, it can literally take less than a second for a computer to go through the possibilities and pull that password out.
For an 8-character password?
Right.
My password is 5 characters. That's not a joke. That's bad, right?
That's really bad.
Okay, so which of these seem like good options? Password, but spelt W-E-R-D.
This is a joke, right?
No, yes.
That would be within the normal password dictionaries, permutations of common words.
But it's misspelt though, so that was the kind of tripwire on it.
Right, it's still 8 characters, even if it's not within your password dictionary, which would mean it would be fairly trivial.
Okay. It's a bad one. That's why I got some more. 1, 2, 3, 4, but spelt out.
That's not going to help you.
Okay. Limp Bizkit Forever with Limp Bizkit spelled properly, but forever not.
That's also not going to help you.
Okay. Really?
I think the best advice here is to shift your thinking from passwords to passphrases. Think about a common phrase that works for you that's too long to brute force, and also make them unlikely to be in the dictionary.
Admiral Alonso Ghost Penis 420 YOLO.
That's pretty good.
Right?
It's memorable too.
Right, it's memorable. It's got all the other things you like characters and numbers. YOLO, capital letters, obviously. I shouldn't say, now I can't use it.
It can actually be a lot harder to remember a password that they tell you has to be 13 characters long or something like that. It has to have exclamation points, it has to have numbers, it has to have uppercase and lowercase letters and things like that, than it is to remember a simple phrase like Margaret Thatcher is 110% sexy.
Wow, that is a password that not even a computer would guess. Now you're right, okay, I get it, I get how important it is, I fully understand that. The problem is, I'm not gonna do it because it seems hard, even though I know it isn't.
You're killing me.
Sorry.
When you're in positions of privileged access, like a systems administrator for these sort of intelligence community agencies, you're exposed to a lot more information on a broader scale than the average employee. And because of that, you see things that may be disturbing, but over the course of a normal person's career, you'd only see 1 or 2 of these instances. When you see everything, you see them on a more frequent basis. And you recognize that some of these things are actually abuses. And when you talk to people about them, in a place like this where this is the normal state of business, people tend not to take them very seriously and move on from them. But over time, that awareness of wrongdoing sort of builds up, and you feel compelled to talk about it. And the more you talk about it, the more you're ignored, the more you're told it's not a problem, until eventually you realize that these things need to be determined by the public, not by somebody who was simply hired by the government. You don't have to have done anything wrong. You simply have to eventually fall under suspicion from somebody, even by a wrong call, and then they can use the system to go back in time and scrutinize every decision you've ever made, every friend you've ever discussed something with, and attack you on that basis to sort of derive suspicion from an innocent life and paint anyone in the context of a wrongdoer. The first is that China is an enemy of the United States. It's not. I mean, there are conflicts between the United States government and the Chinese PRC government, but the peoples inherently, we don't care. We trade with each other freely. We're not at war. We're not in armed conflict, and we're not trying to be. We're the largest trading partners out there for each other. Additionally, Hong Kong has a strong tradition of free speech. People think, oh, China, great firewall. Mainland China does have significant restrictions on free speech, but the people of Hong Kong have a long tradition of protesting in the streets, of making their views known. The internet is not filtered here, no more so than any other Western government. The greatest fear that I have regarding the outcome for America of these disclosures is that nothing will change. People will see in the media all of these disclosures. They'll know the lengths that the government is going to grant themselves powers unilaterally to create greater control over American society and global society. But they won't be willing to take the risks necessarily to stand up and fight to change things, to force their representatives to actually take a stand in their interests. And the months ahead, the years ahead, it's only going to get worse until eventually there will be a time where policies will change, because the only thing that restricts the activities of the surveillance state are policy. Even our agreements with other sovereign governments, we consider that to be a stipulation of policy rather than a stipulation of law. And because of that, a new leader will be elected. They'll flip the switch, say that because of the crisis, because of the dangers that we face in the world, some new and unpredicted threat, we need more authority, we need more power, and there will be nothing the people can do at that point to oppose it, and it'll be turnkey tyranny. One of the things that's lost in all of the problematic politics of the Russian government is the fact that this is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. The people are friendly, the people are warm. And when I came here, I didn't understand any of this. I was terrified of this place because, of course, they were the great fortress of the enemy. How do you think a CIA agent looks at Russia? And it was never my plan to be here. But with time, with open eyes, you can see that our presumptions about a place are almost always different from the reality of it. And this is a dangerous moment for democracies, because people believe that once we have achieved and established a free and open society, that it will remain that way and will always be there. But the reality is things can backslide very quickly, and we have seen democracies fall in just a matter of a few years. Political systems are being slanted to deny us influence. When our economic systems are being shaped to prevent us from having an equal opportunity to benefit from the production that has been created, we need people to recognize these problems, to understand these problems, and then to be willing to give something up to change that problem. This is what we're struggling with on climate. This is what we're struggling with on so many fronts. Yes, people can believe that mass surveillance is wrong. Yes, people can believe that climate change is an enormous threat facing the future not of a country but of the planet. But it's not enough to believe in something. You have to be ready to stand for something if you want it to change.